We have been very lucky to sit here today and to have this time with Willie and Elizabeth Garcia. Willie shared with us that he had suffered what they call shell shock. And there is a poem that truly describes shell shock. It's called The 1,000-Yard Stare. I know a man who looks at me with eyes that see right through, like a dog whistle with a pitch beyond the reach of human ears. His eyes are focused on the middle distance, fixed on a point that others can't see. I know I may not share his world, where tracers split the midnight sky, where ambush waits along each track, where constant guard must be maintained, and even sleep can bring no rest. What has that world to do with me? It seems so far away. Yet, I can't escape those eyes. That ice blue look that haunts me still. That steady 1,000-yard stare. There in my mirror each day. Our soldiers suffer. No soldier leaves the war without scars. They all carry them. And we honor them and praise them. Willie, who's this nice lady sitting beside you? Who is this lady sitting beside you? Oh, I saw a smile.
That's my wife.
What's her name?
Chabela. Elizabeth is Chabela.
How long have you been married?
Oh my goodness.
You've been married about 68 years, is that correct?
Something like that.
Yes. When do you remember meeting Elizabeth? Where you met her at? Oh, another smile.
Oh my goodness. I went to the movies and I was inside of the movie looking at that movie, and she was sitting down straight to the other seats, and when she started talking, I was interested in who it was. So I moved. Did I have another person here?
You went to a movie with a friend.
And I said, we better move over there so we can make conversation about and introduce who we are and this. And all of a sudden, my mind changed, and I said, it got into my mind, I better start what I'm thinking. I don't remember what I say to her, being serious to be my friend, or things like that, because I never did talk with a lady that way. My wife teased me that I had a bunch of girls, but I had them, but they were. That's all it is, that they were my friends. But serious things about how I met from the beginning, that's different what she's talking about me.
You have a cap on your head. It says World War II veteran. Are you a veteran?
Certainly, that's why I wear it.
Are you proud of that?
I am. I serve I don't have sort of time of trouble in the service.
Uh-huh.
I try to obey what they told us and that.
What was your serial number?
The serial number?
Yes.
38, 12, 26, 37.
After all these years, you still remember that.
Heaven knows why, but when they gave us this number, they told us, remember when I'm going to give you this, and try to see if you can keep it in your mind. You repeat it and see if it gets into your mind. And when the time comes that when you're talking with somebody and they ask you, what's your serial number? And honestly, I answer, in all these years, it's just something that I did, not a miracle, but to me it's I can see that what you all surprised that I remember that many years still. But you can give me credit or not. I'm satisfied for what happened.
Yes. Well, I forgot to tell you in the beginning, I always do this with a veteran. Thank you for your service. And this is what I do.
I'll give you the answer.
Thank you. Thank you for what you did, Willie. Thank you. Let me ask you.
Excuse me. Well, we were at that time at HEB in 281,
Uh-huh.
and there was a soldier with 2 kids. And I told him, I started talking with him and I said, have you been in the service overseas? Yes. You came from over there? Yes, he did. Well, I'm glad you came back right here where this place is, our country. But I didn't tell him that I was a veteran of World War II. I tried to see him again to tell him, but I saw him, but I didn't have time to do it. So I said, that's all right.
That's okay.
That's okay. But I was happy that I saw wherever he was and came back with in good health.
Yes. Yes.
Not like others that I have seen.
Yes, I know. I know, Willie. It's hard.
That's the way it happened in the war.
Yes.
Like the president said that he's going to send the soldiers back to already. One soldier died, and I heard it in the television that he died, and he was coming to.
It's okay. It's all right, Willie. This is your heart talking.
Can't do nothing about that.
No.
Just pray.
Just pray for them. That's right. Let me ask you something. When you were in the service, did you get married to Elizabeth while you were in the military?
Yes. It was a time when when I received orders that I was going overseas. That was a time for me to say something about that I was going overseas and I wanted to get married. And we fixed it with a person about to get the information of Mary.
Mm-hmm. Did you get a honeymoon?
What?
Did you get to have a honeymoon with Elizabeth?
No.
No. What happened?
I remember one time when she told me, we're not going to do no loving things until you come back. And I said,
Oh, no.
I respect that.
You respected that. Yes. That says you are a good man. Willie, what did you do in the military? What was your job?
I did some work in the kitchen, cooking, and because I went to school to study about cooking, and came and served, but I didn't took that completely all the way,
Uh-huh.
because frankly from that moment up to like now, I don't know. You can tell me, can you fix me something to eat? Nothing. Why do you have those pictures with being a cook?
You don't cook.
You don't cook. And that's right, but because I forgot about it, and everything flew away from my mind. And
I understand you were in the military police after that. Is that correct?
yes,
And what was that like?
I didn't carry no badge, but I was in the outfit of the soldiers that were in the police, in the MPs.
Uh-huh. The military police.
Yes, and during that time, I had the privilege to guard Germans to go to work, and I was afraid that somebody might run, and I knew I would get in trouble. I was very careful to check on him, all that responsibility, and he helped me everything. That's what I did.
Now these were German prisoners of war, is that correct?
Right. Not they were. I think they were very nice persons. They didn't do crazy things like that. But it happens because that's the way it is in this world. Every person is not good, and every person is good.
Mm-hmm. Now, Willie, I understand that with your job, you would have to work at night and then try to sleep during the day. Is that correct?
Yes. That's why we went overseas, and they took me to work whatever I had to do. When they told me to do this, what kind of work I did, I do it. And day by day, I would go to work. And finally, something got in trouble with me for my funeral, something was bothering me. I reported that not exactly, because I don't remember what words I told them, but I told them that I didn't feel good.
Uh-huh.
That's when the trouble of that sore started. I don't know if I could keep going to work or not, but I don't know how many times I went to report it also.
Uh-huh.
But when I got that information that I was going home, and I obeyed that order, and I didn't say anything. Do whatever they were thinking, what to do with me, and they all I know that I came back to the States,
Mm-hmm.
where they left me at Brooks General in San Antonio. And one way or another, my wife knew that I was there in the hospital. And I said, why did you come to see me? You know that I don't have any attractions for a visit. I'm sick and all of that.
So you had a condition that's called shell shock, is that correct?
Well, that's what they say that I've had.
So when you got home, you needed medical help, didn't you?
At the hospital,
At the hospital.
both hospital and in Waco, I had treatments of electric shots, and they used to put me they would put those, what you call those, it's not a blanket, but the white material.
Uh-huh. Like a sheet?
Yes.
Okay.
They would put them up in the ice pack to freeze them, and that would be wrapped on those sheets, all of it, and I would be put on a table, and I would be there for I don't know how many hours.
Until you would come back, because they gave him the electric shot that would knock him out
That would knock him out.
completely.
Okay. And Elizabeth, tell me how you felt when you first saw Willie home from the war. What did you think?
I could see what he had gone through because he was complaining that the people were coming behind him, the railroad track was coming behind him, and they were making him run, and he was scared, and he was afraid, and he kept on vomiting and wasn't able to walk. And when I saw him like that, he was so sick that he himself said, "Why did you come and see me like this?"
I understand, Elizabeth, that you got very angry at the military.
I did. When they called me after they found out that we were married, because in the papers he said he was still single, but when he found out that he was married, they called me, the lieutenant sergeant called me and said, "Miss Garcia, I understand you're his wife," and he said, "Yes." He says, "Well, we don't need Willie anymore. We don't have use for him anymore. You can take him home." I was just 19 years old, and I could not understand why they were telling me that, but I think that the Holy Spirit enlightened my mind, and I start thinking, and I answered him back just rough, and I said, "Sir, I married Willie when he was a nice-looking soldier, very proud of himself. I didn't marry him like this. He got like this when you took him overseas, when you pushed him from North Africa all the way to Italy, and this is what he got out of it. And so I cannot take him home until he recuperates and you give him to me the way I married him."
I bet they were surprised.
They were. He just looked at me and he says, "All right, you can go home and we'll let you know what we're going to do with him." I said, "Okay." The next time I got a letter in the mail, they told me that they had discharged him at Fort Sam Houston with disability of 100%, and they had sent him to Waco, and that they had to guard him. 2 men were supposed to guard him to Waco, so because they thought he was violent, but Willie never has been violent. So when he got to Waco and he was admitted there, that's when I heard from Waco that he was there, and that as soon as he was able to see me, they would let me know.
Okay. Willie, would you say that Elizabeth has worked hard all these years to help you get better?
That's the thing about it. I have noticed what kind of responsibility she has on that. And she repeated with me sometimes that she takes care of me, and it is honest, the truth about that.
Mm-hmm. But now, if I understand, you also have 2 daughters, don't you? So, even with your health problems, you were still able to enjoy life and have a family. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. Willie, let me ask you, can you tell me how you feel about war? If you could say something about war, what would you say?
About war?
Yeah, just your opinion of war. What you think about it.
Well, all of these wars since World War II that have started, they're not pleased. Nobody was pleased that the one who made that war, I can't name him because I don't remember each one of them, but who was responsibility of World War II? Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you about this man, and you can compare the other ones that start the other wars. If Hitler started this war, and he had in mind all those years that he was the boss to get all that information into the people that were serving his soldiers. None of that. I don't know how long he was the boss of everyone. And